watched them, you already know what I'm talking about. They're amazing. He does a great job. He's all his videos are killer. I mean, just amazing. So let's get into this video, and I actually haven't watched this video. So let's get into this. Let's watch him cook 100 pounds of beef on the Goldees backyard smoker.
The Goldees Backyard Offset is known for its insane cooking capacity, and I'm going to put that capacity to the ultimate test by cooking 7 briskets at the same time. That's one whole 15-pound brisket over the maximum capacity M&M states on their website.
6 briskets. Y'all seen my video where I cooked 8 briskets, but that's me. You know, I'm him. So I think 2 less briskets would have been really good for pretty much everyone else. Turkey breast 15. we do 12 a lot at Goldees. 9. I felt really comfortable doing 9. I think that's a really good number. Sausage 40, probably more. Chicken 15, something like that. I think that's really good. I think these numbers are really good. But I want to do 8 briskets again, because I didn't cut them up for y'all to see, but we did cut them and serve them at Goldees, and the one I cut through I thought was amazing. So I want to do it again. I'm gonna have to cut all 8 of them, vacuum seal them right away, and then take it to the community bank here in Fort Worth. That's the plan. So I'm gonna have to make sure I have a vacuum sealer on hand. I want to cut through all 8 briskets, talk about every single, how every single one of them came out, and then vacuum seal it and donate it. So I'm gonna have to do that here pretty soon, maybe this week.
This is going to be the hardest backyard cook I've done so far, but I have some tricks up my sleeve to hopefully help me pull this cook off. Okay, so on the table right now I have 7 Angus choice briskets from Sam's Club, and because I have so many briskets to get through, I am not going to be super detailed on the trim job. But
that's a mistake, big mistake.
At the same time, I'm going to do the best speed job as I possibly can.
Don't ever do a speed job. Don't ever do a speed job. You take your time, trim them up nice.
And so I'm mixing it.
I don't know why he said he's doing a speed
up here
job.
A little bit today. I usually use a 6-inch boning knife when I'm trimming briskets, but today I'm using a 10-inch grating
This guy's blowing it. This guy's blowing it already.
Slicer. And that's because a couple months ago I went to Bar A BBQ in
never mind.
Montgomery, Texas. And the owner, Cooper, was trimming briskets with one of these, and it just looked really cool. I wanted to try it out for myself. And I did shoot a barbecue story documentary over there, and I actually just finished editing it. I usually say this all the time because, I'm getting better every time making one of these documentaries, but this one is seriously the best one
I agree. I think if y'all haven't watched that Bar A BBQ video, go watch it right now. Please go watch it right now.
Ever made. It might be out even before this video, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that. Dude,
he really is speeding through those. Holy moly, he is speeding through those.
Briskets are crazy.
What the freak was that? That was not a brisket.
All right, time for seasoning. So this is just Lawry's pepper and salt. I just mix it all together because, again, I'm trying to do this as fast as I can.
Bro, I mean, you're not. Look, at least you're admitting that you're speed. You're trying to do this super quick, right? So I mean, it's fine. We get it.
Because
you're not getting cooked, bro. You're not getting cooked.
All right, now for the fun part. We got to figure out how to get these briskets onto this backyard smoker. So to help me figure out how to orient the briskets into the smoker for the best chance of success, I called Johnny, also known as Dream Barbecue.
Yeah. That's a great picture. I'm glad you chose that picture. That's one of my favorite pictures, man. That's I mean, I was really in my bag with that fit, I love it. I got the nice pink tree, the beautiful tree outside of Goldees. We had the picnic tables over there. They used to be over there, man. That's a long time ago, man. This is a long time ago.
Here on YouTube. First reason is because he's one of the owners of Goldees. He's one of the ones who designed this pit. So if there's anyone who knows how to cook a bunch of briskets inside of the Goldie smoker, it's gonna be Johnny. And the second reason is because he actually did a very similar experiment to this, except he cooked.
Those look nice. Those look nice, dude. I'm not even gonna. I mean, these look good. Do these look small, chat? I get so much shit. Everyone says I trimmed these up real small. Look how the lean is the same length as the point. Point. Lean. That's the end of the mohawk right here. The lean is the same length as the point. Y'all are the ones trimming them up small. Y'all, when y'all go down this thing, y'all zoom, take the whole thing off. That's crazy, bro.
8 briskets in the Goldie's offset smoker. But in his videos, his 8 briskets, they ended up
Look good. That looks nice. Yeah, I shifted them. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
using for the service at Goldees, so he didn't slice into it on camera to show you what the briskets looked like on the inside. But we're absolutely going to slice into briskets in this video and really break down and analyze each slice of the brisket from the point to the burnt end to the flat so that we can see if this smoker can really cook 7 briskets perfectly. Anyways, Johnny told me to just configure them in a
Wrong.
way to stay as far away from the firebox opening on the right side.
I'm just messing around, but it looked like he put the point in.
And then put the water pan between the hole and the closest brisket. And that's,
I mean, that looks
because
good.
right.
That looks good to me. I mean, he has 3 back here, 3 going long ways, 1 right there. He has enough room away from the hole, and these look like they're not really touching. They look like they're fitting in there pretty good.
Out of this hole, straight down this line is where the hot spot on this smoker is. So if you didn't know, every offset smoker has a hot spot. And that's pretty obvious since, you know, the construction of an offset smoker is you have the fire on one end and then the exhaust on the other end. So of course, the side where the firebox is always going to be hotter. But I am curious to see how aggressive the hot spot is on the Goldie smoker because again, we're not getting a direct heat from the fire. Instead, there's a pipe that separates the firebox from the cook chambers. So I'm curious on how badly it's going to torch the brisket. For even more data, I'm gonna use my Typer Sync on the brisket that's closest to the firebox because the Typer Sync not only measures the internal temperature of the brisket, but can also do the ambient temperature. And I'm really curious on exactly how hot the heat is coming out of that pipe. We'll go probe 1 for this brisket.
That's the let me see. Oh, what the? That's been too quick of a shot.
Heat is coming out of that pipe. We'll go probe 1 for this brisket.
That's the damn it, I missed again. But that's the water pan that the Goldie smoker comes with. So if you buy a Goldie smoker, it comes with that little water pan right there.
At about 200 degrees, and I'm gonna just coast at 200 degrees pretty much for the first 3 to 4 hours of the cook, just to let the briskets kind of shrink up so I can.
Yeah, I think this is the way to do it. I think you know, stay low, stay slow, let it warm up, let all the briskets warm up together, and then start shifting around once they start shrinking.
Reorganize them again. I think that the key for this cook is just being able to stay on top of the briskets and shuffle them around, making sure that we're staying out of that hot spot zone. So the pit's getting up to temperature. It's currently at 175, and on the Typer Sync, I'm getting an ambient temperature reading of 245. So I think 200 degrees Fahrenheit is gonna be about the magic number to make sure that we don't absolutely torch that front brisket. But I guess we'll find out in a couple hours. Okay, briskets have been on for about 4-ish hours. Let's go ahead and check out the briskets. Okay, so pretty nice even color on all of them, it seems. So yeah, pretty common look for brisket.
I think this looks pretty good. I think this looks really nice. What do y'all think? These look, I mean, this looks like what it looks like when they, you know, are just coming up to temp. They look like they're probably almost firmed up. They look like they're almost firmed up, so I think they're looking pretty good. Yeah, very even. That is true. Like, the color from all of them look like the exact same color.
Briskets when you're running it like super low and smoky. Also, this side of the brisket.
Set maybe right there. Kirby. Set maybe right there. Yeah, it looks like it's taking the brunt of the heat right there a little bit, but Hey, it is what it is. It's gonna take a little bit of heat, but it'll even back out once everything gets shifted around.
It is like pretty dang crispy. Honestly speaking, things are not looking too good for this brisket, but we're gonna try and move things around to get it out of this danger zone.
Oh, great. Put it where everyone can see it, Ant. Huh? Okay, okay. Looks golden brown to me. I mean, honestly, if you're asking me, looks golden brown. Chat, is that golden brown? But no, I think that this has to do a little bit with fire management, and I don't think he's talked about where the damper is yet either. And I had an issue with this when I had 8 briskets on. I had one like literally where the water pan was, and it got crispy like this. But like I said, once you shift it around like this, I mean, the rest of the brisket is gonna. If you stay kind of low and slow, the rest of the brisket will kind of catch up. So he should be okay. We'll see how this one turns out at the end. But don't be discouraged by this. Don't worry. It's gonna work out.
So as you can see, the damage from being right there in the hot spot is, yeah, looking pretty critical. But at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and increase the temperature.
It makes a comeback. Okay,
Around
don't ruin the
250
video.
because, yeah, I've been cooking briskets for 4 hours, and at this rate, these briskets are gonna be done in like 2 days. So we got to get the temperatures up. Yeah, pretty rough start for this cook, but we'll see. So at about the 6
Yeah,
hour
spoiler
mark, the
alert.
brisket that was closest to the fire was looking pretty terrible, actually. The bark looked really weird on the point side. It was almost like it was in the stall, but the bark hadn't set yet, so it just looked all melty and kind of disgusting. But at about 8 hours, the crust had completely set, and also relocating that brisket that was closest to the fire,
Where can you can't even tell.
close to the door, really helped it. Because those
Where was it on the pit earlier? Who the fuck knows?
burn marks that were once hard
Could have been anywhere on the pit now. Who the fuck knows where it was?
really softened up once the bark set and the brisket really started to sweat during the stall. And that really revived
That looks soft. That looks soft. I don't know what he's talking. I mean,
once the
he's saying it's soft, but I mean, look at the way his fingers are going into this. And it was not burnt.
bark set and the brisket really started to sweat during the stall. And that really
It looked
revived
juicy.
my hope for this experiment. So currently I'm getting close to the 13-hour mark on this cook. And since first rearranging the briskets, I haven't really done much. I've been tipping the briskets and kind of been inching
Rookie
the
move.
briskets closer and closer to the center as they've been shrinking down from the moisture loss. But anyways, like I said, we're at about the 13-hour mark and some of the briskets are getting really close to wrap. Bark is nice. Set. Open up the fat. It's nice and yellow.
They look good.
All right, 16 hours
Even
later,
evenness
and
wise,
the
they
last
look
briskets
good.
are finally coming off the smoker, and this is the one that was closest to that hot spot at the beginning of the cook, as you can see by the Typer sink sticking out of it. So I'm gonna pull this out for a second and then get this wrapped up.
It looks like super. It looks done. Like it looked like really tender. Okay, he still has it marked.
So as you can
We're
see,
gonna
I
look at
have
the one
2
that
briskets here,
apparently
not
was kind of
7.
burnt.
5 of the briskets I rested and then I put them in the fridge because my friend is going to use them for an event later on. And for the 2 briskets in front of me, the first one, as you can see, the one with the Typer sink, it was the one that was the closest to the firebox at the beginning of the cook, right in that hot spot. And this second brisket is one that I picked out that I thought was the best of the 7 based on the following criteria. So out of all the other briskets, this was the one that I thought was the best out of the 7. So first of all, the sides of the brisket still have like a little bit of like soft tenderness to it. I think the bark on the outside looks the best. It also just has a really good feel on the point and the flat. And one of the most important things is that it was one of the ones that was the least affected by the weird skin effect. Now that weird skin thing is something that I've only experienced one other time, and that was when I was cooking on my Weber kettle. But first of all, what is the weird skin thing I'm talking about? So my theory is that this happens when you cook a brisket for too low for too long. Basically, that top layer of fat gets way too dry before the brisket hits the stall. That dry skin doesn't like melt down with the rest of the fat, and then you're left with this like hard shell on the outside of the brisket. Normally I'll go super
Huh? What's he talking about?
low and smoky for like an hour or two, but going sub 200 for like 4+ hours is crazy. Because of that, it took me like 16 hours to finish these briskets. But even though these 2 briskets represent the worst and the best briskets out of the 7, you got to take that with a grain of salt. I don't know what it was specifically with this cook, but throughout the
Get the cutting.
entire thing, like, I was just not feeling it. Like, the briskets were looking strange throughout the cook. They weren't feeling right during the stall and after the stall. So in conclusion, can you cook 7 briskets on the Goldie smoker? I would say if you're a barbecue savant or like one of the best pit masters in the world, then yeah, absolutely go for it. But if you're of my skill or lower, then yeah, don't do it. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cut into the briskets, starting with the.
Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna do a video where like I said, I'll do 7 briskets, maybe 8, all the way through, and cut every single slice, and I'll teach you exactly how to do it. My 8 brisket video is kind of like, there's not a whole lot of info there. It was just kind of me like doing it and then talking over it. And
best.
But I want to see what Ant's talking about. He's saying don't cook 7 briskets. If this burnt one, if this the worst one, if it doesn't look bad, then I think he should rescind that.
One.
Okay, this is the good one. This is the good one.
I can see that the meat is like really tender at the bottom, but yeah, like brisket is definitely way drier than I'm used to. So here's the flat.
It doesn't look that dry, but it looks like there was like no fat, or like he rendered the fat maybe too good or something. He rendered like all the fat out. He might have rendered all the fat. This fat over here looks super good. He nailed it.
The fat render looks.
Look at that fat. That looks great. But then there wasn't any fat on this side, so that's when when there's not a whole lot of fat on top, that's when you see like if you're looking at the top of the brisket where there's fat supposed to be, if you start seeing a darker smoke ring, that's when you know there wasn't really any fat. It's the weird skin thing. Yeah, I wonder what I don't know what happened. Maybe these briskets are just weird or whatever.
Weird. I can definitely see that line where the weird skin is, but also if you look right here, it looks like the fat isn't completely rendered. So I'm thinking.
Really? That looks pretty rendered.
When that skin develops, it kind of.
It looks. I've seen way whiter, globbier fat on YouTube, buddy. That shit is fucking rendered, dude. You rendered that fat, man. I've seen way worse looking fat on YouTube, man. Holy moly. And you're talking about that's not rendered.
Inhibited the fat from completely rendering. And that's one of the reasons why I cooked this brisket so long, is that I noticed that the fat just wasn't rendering right.
Oh, read the bottom. Read the bottom. It was whiter in person. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm not picking on you, man. I just my bad. It was whiter in person.
Use the burnt end. Yeah, it looks a little drier than I'm used to the burnt end looking. And when I say dry, it's not, you can see it. It's not like completely bone dry. But I know the brisket should be like way juicier than
It looks good, bro. It looks good. Oh man, we were talking about this, and he's I think he's being a little critical on himself, man. This that looks like good brisket to me, man. But I like it. Ant is aiming for something higher. You know what I'm saying? He's not just eating a slice of. He's not cooking a brisket, eating a slice, and say, yummy, that's good. This is perfect. He is being critical of himself, and this is what is what's gonna make a really great pitmaster.
in this. Yeah, this is such a strange brisket because normally when I overcook a brisket, it gets like real.
What? I think it's just the. This had to be the briskets because this doesn't even look like the graining actually doesn't even look that bad. It's just like the fat. I mean, the fat that was on the briskets or came with the briskets like rendered out way too much or like rendered away. Like it's gone.
See, you can still see the integrity of each of the muscle fibers are still.
That's actually, that's kind of a good thing. That's, I mean, this looks like dry, but you can see there's like if this brisket had a band of fat running across the top, I think it would have literally been perfect.
Intact. It just looks a little dry. And outside of that weird skin
It would have, if it had that band of fat, it would have looked like soup. This all of this would have been way juicier, but the graining actually looks like it's really big. It's like bigger than the Creekstone graining. Like that's a look at that grain. That's huge. All of these are just like huge. But like this doesn't look overcooked because the mealy grains look like cat food, look like mush. This looks like this is the brisket, man. This is definitely the brisket. This is not you or the Goldie Smoker, or it might have been that quick trim. I'll say that. It might have been that quick trim. It might have been that sums up with that fat. But I would say overall, this is definitely the brisket. Like it's a weird brisket, but it actually looks, I mean, pretty good, honestly. Like I've been served this brisket at many of restaurants.
that I was talking about earlier, the fat render's really good on the point slice. But that makes sense since the point is facing the fire for most of the cook. All right, the worst brisket.
Here's the here's the shitty ass brisket. Let's see how it came out. That brisket, if that was I mean, that one was good. That one was, that other brisket probably B minus.
I'm liking the way this one is feeling better than the other brisket off the bat. Wow. Okay, this
Are you serious? It feels better than the other one.
is just a comment about the surface of the brisket. But what's crazy is I actually don't see the weird skin thing on this brisket.
Maybe put the weird ass briskets by the hole. Maybe that's the trick. You should have said that. Put your weird ass briskets by the hole, and they come out freaking perfect. Freaking perfect. I mean, look at that fat render, buddy. That's good stuff. That fat right there looks good. This is always gonna be there, but. Are you kidding me, dude? You're talking about I didn't render the fat that good? You're trolling. You're trolling.
Not seeing any of that.
Are you kidding me? Have you watched YouTube? Have you watched barbecue YouTube, man? This is the most rendered fat I've ever seen in a video outside of maybe something that me or Chuck have done on YouTube. You're trolling.
White fat at the bottom.
But I know at the bottom of the screen, it says it looks whiter in person. Buddy, I bet that looked freaking perfect in person, bro. You're tripping. Look at that, dude. Look at that. That looks like perfectly rendered fat.
Still overcooked and a little dry.
What?
But yeah, fat render is definitely better on this brisket.
This fat looks good, dude. It's just a brisket. It's just the brisket, dude. I think you got some bad briskets. Let's redo this. I'll send you 8. I'll send you 8 Creekstone primes. I'll send you 8 Creekstone primes. You redo this video. I want you even closer to the hole. I want you to get closer to the hole and do this exact cook again, because if this is the one that was, this one was the burnt one, right? But 8.
Now that I'm seeing the slice, the fat render is better than the last one, but not perfect by any means. Yeah, I'm not in love with
you. I mean, you render the fat any better than that, man. You're gonna get fucking #1 at Texas Monthly.
the way that the seam fat rendered. It looks like seam fat when you cook a brisket like way too hot. Burnt end. Okay, I'm gonna taste both and then give you my thoughts, starting with the best brisket.
You had to wash that down with some, what was that, a Coke or something? Coca-Cola? Dude's munching, bro.
Okay, first of all, on both of the briskets, a little bit too much smoke flavor. I think going 200
A little bit too much smoke flavor.
and below 200 for 4 hours just like oversaturated both briskets. It's not enough putting flavor at all. It's just a little bit
What did
more
Cameron
smoky
what did Cameron say, man? What did Cameron say?
than I'm used to. I am using hickory.
You're using hickory?
So maybe if I did this experiment with a milder wood like white
God damn it, Ant! The briskets are too smoky. And you're using hickory wood. They're burnt. You wouldn't recommend 7. You didn't render the fat.
oak, it probably would have taken care of that smoked out flavor I'm getting. But I will say that the brisket that was exposed to the firebox at the beginning of the cook tastes significantly better than the other one. Texture
I mean, are you do 8. Do 8. You have to. Ant, I will send you 8 Creekstone Prime briskets. I want you to do 8 briskets, and I need you to redact almost literally everything that you said in this video. You need to redact. You need to say, "I was wrong. I messed up. I'm gonna redo this video, and I don't know what happened. I mean, I was smoking with hickory. I was smoking with hickory. I didn't trim the briskets. uh, you have to redo this entire video. You have to.
Structurally speaking, from the point and the flat, like it was like so much more tender and it was actually more juicy too. And I'm also getting that nice sweet profile on the fat cap of this hotspot brisket. With the other brisket, not only is it drier, but that weird skin thing that developed, it kind of like tasted burnt and like a little bit acrid. If there was a sweet profile on this brisket, it was completely masked by that weird skin. I think because I babied that hotspot brisket so much during the cook, I ended up sacrificing the other 6 briskets, leaving me with 7 mediocre briskets. I can honestly say that this brisket that wasn't in the hot spot tastes worse than the brisket I made on the $400 Pecos last week. When I had the Goldees smoker go head to head against the Pecos in a brisket.
Can I talk about? I want to. The taste wasn't great. Let's talk about. I mean, can I be honest? I'm gonna be honest with Ant. The seasoning, I don't think it looks very uh consistent or like evenly put on the brisket. To be honest, the seasoning looks a little. I mean, you sped through, you sped through the trimming, sped through the seasoning, mixed up the rub, mixed up the spices. That obviously creates a super inconsistent flavor profile across briskets. Man, I think it's just the. I don't know. I might have to send them pre-trimmed. I might send those 8 briskets pre-trimmed and pre-seasoned, man. You need to sit down for if I'm gonna send these out there, you gotta mark out. You can't be editing videos. You need a whole day to just cook. Just hang out by the smoker and cook 8 briskets. I guarantee that you can cook 8 solid briskets on here. I guarantee you can cook 8 solid briskets. But I mean, I think this is a good video, and I'm not trying to trash the video. I'm just saying, I mean, me personally, I mean, I wouldn't smoke with hickory, but overall, I think this is a really solid video. I mean, I hope it wasn't too harsh. I think people would agree that that, I think you can do 8. I want to see you do 8. What do you say? What do you think, Ant? Is that a deal? I want to see you do 8. 8. I want you to put another brisket on here. I want you to do the same thing. You'll start like low and slow like this, but wherever you got these briskets from fucking Kmart, man. These are some weird ass briskets. Got these from fucking Kmart and then tried to put them on the Goldie smoker. Come on, man. This is an expensive smoker. Get the expensive brisket. No, I'm just joking. Go to at least Walmart, man. Please just go to Walmart. Briskets are juicy, dude. They're juicy. I promise you. I think when I do the next video, I'm gonna do 8 Walmart briskets because I think that's what people can get. So, but I'm gonna send the 8 Creekstone primes. So there's no weird fat stuff. You can cook low and slow. You can move them around, and you don't have to baby. Like you can baby the one in the front, for the first little bit of the cook, and then shift it away later on, and all 8 of them should turn out really good. All 8 of them. I mean, I'm just I'm just sad, that you couldn't. Maybe this is your first try too. I mean, how many times have you cooked 7, plus briskets or 5 plus briskets? How many times have you cooked that many? That's also a big factor. But yeah, I think you're a little harsh on yourself too. I mean, buddy, don't make me go click on some other YouTubers' briskets. Come on. I don't want to do that. If this had fat, dude, it would have been rendered. It didn't even have any fat. But it looks pretty juicy, honestly. That looked pretty juicy. Come on. That's good stuff. That's good. That's good. That's pretty good rendering, bro. Are you serious? I thought you were making it out to seem like these were going to be the worst briskets I've ever seen on YouTube. These are top 3. Probably both these briskets, top 3 briskets I've ever seen on YouTube ever. And I'm not just saying that because it's the Goldie Smoker. I'm saying it's because this fat render right here. And I think there would have been more if there was just more fat on top. That was the 3rd time I cooked briskets on it, period. Yeah, see, I mean, the cooking capacity is insane. I'm interested in catering. Yeah, you should get one. Using hickory for 16 hours is a rookie move. This guy.
The Goldees backyard offset.
This guy gets it. I didn't know that you used hickory for for 16 hours. Yeah, you're just not lying. I get it. I mean, what you saw, uh, but I think I'm just saying we're gonna get you right for this next one. We're gonna get you 8 briskets, and we're gonna get them. I feel like I'm being hard on you, but you get it. You're like me. Your heart. You'll be honest on YouTube. You'll critique yourself on YouTube, and that's a lot harder than it sounds.